Jai Shri Krishna. And today we continue with the Srimad Bhagavad. And it is the Srimad Bhagavad by Swami Tejomayanandaji. It is his commentary on it. And I continue with the Dattatraya's 24 Gurus. And today I'm reading from page 927. And what did Dattatreyaji learn from a courtesan? Dattatreyaji then spoke about what he learned from Pingala, a courtesan, in Videha, the kingdom of Raja Janaka. There lived a prostitute named Pingala. She was always ready and waiting for a customer and earned her fair share. One day she was fully adorned and waiting as usual, but even until late night no one went to her. It was then that all of a sudden, by the Lord's grace, intense dispassion rose in her mind. She began cursing her life, saying, I have been blessed with such a good and healthy body, a human body, and all this time I have just been selling it. I was focused only on making money by pleasing these vile people and satisfying their lust. What a fool I have been. I live in this city of Raja Janaka where so many great men of wisdom live. Yet I alone am such a low and sinful woman here. Until today I have ignored that Lord who resides in my heart, who gives everything, true love, happiness and spiritual wealth. Until today I have only desired these mortal men and the wealth I could get from them. No longer will I fall into this delusion. The moment she decided this, the desire for any man's arrival completely vanished from her mind. Filled with peace, she went to sleep. After this, deep dispassion arose in her. What Pingala experienced is renowned as Pingala Gita. It is most beautiful. She said, desire itself is the great sorrow. To be desire-free is the greatest happiness. There is an apt and interesting quote of His Holiness Swami Chinmayanandaji in this context. Disappointment comes to those who make appointments with the future. Yeah, isn't it? Those who live with countless desires and expectations live a most disappointing and despondent life. Dattatreyaji said, from Pingala I learned that not having any desires and expectations yields great joy. So I guess the wisdom comes. But I guess also listening to the scriptures and listening to words. Sometimes, as I have spoken about the Kwan, a certain word, a certain sentence from a well-wisher, from a guru, from a scripture can change your life. And obviously, Pingala, in my mind, and this is Shakun speaking, in my mind, she had probably heard this, that it is desires that create all problems. But that is easier said than done. But again, I remind you about what Krishna says in the Gita, that with perseverance and practice, one can achieve this kind of peace. But continuing with what Pingala said. Dattatreyaji said, from Pingala I learned that not having any desires and expectations yields great joy. It is said that there was a Mahatma during that time who had extolled Dattatreyaji when he had said, I learned from Pingala. This Mahatma had been sitting near Pingala's home the night her mind had become filled with this passion. There you see. It is said that the wind had touched the body and had carried that touch to Pingala, which is why intense dispassion had arisen in her mind. This is true. The grace and compassion of Mahatmas is like this. By the mere sight of them, by their mere touch, our mind becomes pure. Of this there is no doubt. So even when before reading the next paragraph, I didn't know what he was going to say, but it's true. It is again the touch of a Mahatma. When you come in their blessing, when you come in their ambience, when you come, it kind of changes you. It takes time to practice, but if we continue practicing and meeting with satsang, remember once I also told you that, I don't know if I remember the words now, but it was satsangatvam nissangatve. Nisangyatve nirmohatmam. Nirmohatve, kind of you get enlightenment, which means with satsang, you get you learn detachment. And with detachment, your desires and all drop away, and then that is the best way to get moksha. So it all starts from satsang, and satsang doesn't necessarily mean going to satsang, which sometimes it can be just meeting up with your wise well-wishers, wise friends, those who have read the scriptures, those who you feel the right vibes from. Anyway, now I continue what Dattatreya learned from an osprey. The Avadhuta then spoke about what he learned from the osprey, which is a small bird in the eagle family. He said an osprey was flying with a piece of meat in its mouth. Just then, a large eagle with other large birds attacked it, pecking at it with their sharp beaks. I saw the osprey let go of the meat in its mouth. The moment it did, all the birds stopped attacking it and flew after the meat. The osprey was at peace again. From this I understood that those who try to hold on to worldly things too much get attacked by others. Therefore, we should not hold on too tightly to objects that are dear to us. That alone can we find peace and attain the blissful Supreme Self. And then what he learned from a child. From a child, Dattatreya learned sannyas, paramam sukha. There is joy only in letting go of an object, not in holding on to it, said the Avadhuta. And a child revels in play. He forgets body, hunger, thirst, and anxiety. The child neither thinks about the past nor worries about the future. He plays only in the present and is sinless by nature. A little child is not concerned with honor or dishonor. His conduct is completely spontaneous. When he gets angry with his parents, he screams at them and sometimes even hits them. Yet a few minutes later, he is laughing again or lovingly placing his arms around them or playing with other children. On the other hand, when parents quarrel, they hold on to their grudges and enmity. Dattatreya said, from the child I learned that I should purify my mind and live spontaneously and in the present. I learned how every moment should be lived. And I will stop here. So we learned from, today we learned from the courtesan, what Dattatreya learned from the courtesan, what he learned from an osprey, which is really a small bird in the eagle family, and what he learned from a child. And I stop at page 929. And now for the bhajan, which is generally customary to sing during the Srimad Bhagavad Katha. And the bhajan for today is Dheeraj Rakh, wo रहमत की बरखा बरसा भी देगा, जिस साईं ने दर्द दिया है वो ही दवा भी देगा. And it goes something like this. धीरज रख वो रहमत की बरखा बरसा भी देगा, जिस साईं ने दर्द दिया है वही दवा भी देगा. धीरज रख वो रहमत की बरखा बरसा भी देगा. He says, keep patience, be patient, and the Lord will shower His grace upon you. And the Lord who has given you this pain will also offer you the medicine. In my mind, it is the karmas that come to you for learning. But anyway, whatever it is, life has given you this pain, whatever it is that you're going through. And if you turn to the Lord, He will also offer you the medication. And then he goes on to say, तोड़ कभी ना आस की डोरी, खुशियाँ देगा भर भर वो ही. Don't lose hope. The Lord will give you happiness in full. एक दिन वो एक दिन वो तेरी आशा को एक चेहरा भी देगा. He said that what you're hoping for, what you're wishing for, He will eventually manifest it for you. It will eventually come in front of you in a face form, in a physical form. And then the next verse, जिसके हाथ में सबकी रेखा, उसकी ओर जिसने भी देखा, सही समय पर मध्यम तारा वो चमका ही देगा. And he says, your hand, the lines of your hand are in His hands, in the Lord's hand. What are the lines in your hand? What we call the destiny. You haven't heard of palmistry? So the palmist, uske or jisne, whoever looked upon the Lord, सही समय पर मध्यम तारा वो चमका भी. At the right time, the right star will shine. He will make it shine for you. And then he says that your himmat, your strength will increase. हटेगी जब घर घोर अंधेरी. When this darkness dispels, बूंद बूंद तरसाने वाला जाम पिला भी देगा. He who yearns for a drop will give you plenty of, will quench your thirst in full. So listen to this song whenever you're feeling you need more hope and more strength. But until next time, you take care and God bless.